Hi, John Wheatcroft here, and today I'm going to take you through some ideas based upon taking pentatonic scale, which I'm sure you know well, taking the traditional minor pentatonic scale and using that as a vehicle to get some sounds, some slightly more exotic sounds if you were going to be moving into styles of music like jazz or jazz fusion in particular. So I guess we should start off with the minor pentatonic scale. So I'm going to make all the examples today are going to be in the key of C. So the first thing to look at is the basic first position minor pentatonic scale. Okay, now most players are comfortable and familiar with that scale. Now, not only does it sound good, the notes are good, but also the nature of the fact that it's 2 notes per string means that it's quite easy to phrase. It's good to put expression and dynamics in there. You know, you can bend or slide to the note, you can hammer on, pull off, do whatever. You know. So what I'm going to do today is show you how you can take that basic template and change the notes, so the configuration of the notes, so that it's going to be able to spell out a variety of other types of chords. So what's important is that we know what the intervals are within pentatonic scale. Before we can move on, we need to know what we've got initially. So we've got a riff, a minor third, perfect fourth, fifth, a flat seventh, and the same thing in the next octave. Let's put a second in there, but we'll worry about adding that note a little later on. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is see what type of chord type that works over. So it's going to work over minor 7 chords, and also in blues you can use it over dominant 7ths, because the minor against major nature of the blues allows that to happen. But what about if we decided we didn't want to play minor against major, we actually wanted to make it fit perfectly? Well, all we need to do is know where the minor third is and make it into a major third, and then we have a pattern where basically everything's the same. So any sequences that you use or any particular lines you might play within minor pentatonic will still work, assuming you know how to change that note around. So here we are, this is our minor third. Let's make that into a major third, and we get this. That's like a typical thing you might hear Jeff Beck. Or Eric Johnson using to play with dominant chords. In fact, some people refer to this as the Hindu dominant scale or Hindu pentatonic scale. So we still keep it 2 notes per string. You might be tempted to put a major third there, but that's going to mess up the pattern-based nature of these shapes. So for example, if I play like a typical Thin Lizzy lick, you know, pretty common in pentatonic, I can make it work in our new dominant version. So on and so forth. Okay. So that's the one that you might want to use for a dominant scale, or for a dominant chord, should I say. Okay, now if I was playing over a major 7 chord, say I'd chosen the Lydian mode, well, I need to know which notes are going to follow, or which notes need to be changed to make this fit into Lydian. Well, Lydian's got a major third, and a sharp 4, and a major 7. So assuming I know where they are, I can find them, and I can adapt my minor pentatonic template to fit this new Lydian sound. So instead of minor third, perfect 4, flat 7, I have major third, sharp 4, major 7. So if I'm playing over major 7 chords, I can play with a lot of expression, a lot of dynamics, and the same kind of lines. So here's our Thin Lizzy. That can be reharmonized to fit the new sound, the new scale, new pentatonic, and so on. Okay, so some other chords that come from the harmonized major scales: minor 7 flat 5. Half diminished. Okay, now the key there is the flat 5, so I can do the same thing to pentatonic. Root, flat 3, 4, flat 5. So that's negotiating the minor 7 flat 5 chord, but in a way that you can use expression, hammers, pulls, bends, you know, whatever it is that you normally do within pentatonic, you can retransfer it into the new shape. Okay, so say we're looking at some sounds that don't come from the major scale. Major 7 sharp 5, for example, Lydian augmented. Okay, that can be made pentatonic again. Root 3, sharp 4, sharp 5. Okay, now obviously I'm basically just scratching the surface here. You can essentially just take any 5 notes that you like. That's what pentatonic means, 5 notes. And there's no law that says it has to be 1, flat 3, 4, 5, so on. In fact, you don't even need to include the root. So the last one that I'm going to leave you with today, before I'd encourage you to experiment and find your own, is a minor pentatonic scale that doesn't even include the root. Now, the most common additional note to minor pentatonic, by the way, is the 9th, the natural 2nd. It tends not to disrupt the sound, and it can be used in lots of different situations in rock and blues and what have you. So with every note in, we get root, 9th, flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, flat 7th, root, 9th. But the problem with this is there's 6 notes per octave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's going to mess up our 2 note per string relationship. So I'm going to ditch the root. We don't really need the root. It's being set by someone else. The bass player will be playing it, keyboard player, or what have you, the rhythm guitar player or whatever. So it's not really that important to know for the improviser to choose. So let's get rid of it, and we end up with. So if I'm playing over. Okay, so no root there at all. I'll eventually put it in at the end of the phrase. But it sounds a lot more exotic than the basic pentatonic scale. Something else which is helping is the fact that I'm not necessarily always playing in a linear way. There's a lot of jumps going on, aided by hybrid picking, something we looked at last time. So the basic pattern, if I go back to regular pentatonic scale, one that will get you started at least, is to play kind of parallel fingers, if that makes sense. So if I use the little finger, then I'm going to play the same note that's in the pentatonic on the string above. And the same thing with the index finger. I take that throughout the whole pattern. So within regular minor pentatonic, we get. And we can do things like play 1 down, 1 up. And basically you can mess around with that to your heart's content. So I'll leave you with that. So as I say, experiment. Essentially the rule is to take any 5 notes from a 7-note scale and establish which ones are the strongest sounds, which one clearly defines the sound of the chord. Ditch the 2 that you don't like, and we'll end up with a 2-note per string pentatonic scale. So have fun with that.